Excellent, Samuel. Would you like another exercise?
Yeah.
If I cannot consume high-quality blood, I might as well drink blood from Florida.
Oh! I'm from Florida! Like, why? There's nothing wrong with my blood. I don't want to answer this because my blood is quality. Are you kidding me, Andromahos? Are you kidding me? I think that's Nosferatu thinking about people from Florida. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. We got off on a good start. Don't. It feels good to be back. I have been wanting to play this for quite some time, I admit. Welcome back. Oh, this is probably your first time seeing me. Thank you for joining. Yes. I've been waiting to play this for quite some time. This is Vampire Therapist, and admittedly, initially when I heard about this or saw peers that were playing it as well before, I just love vampires. So that was like my primary reason for seeking it out. Also the therapist aspect of it. I used to want to be one once upon a time, but still, just things with therapy and mental health and personality disorders and attachment styles and all of that. That's just stuff that I'm just interested in off the rip. So yeah, the vampire aspect and the therapist aspect, I was already interested in it. Then, more recently, I looked into it a little bit more. The creator, Cyrus Namati. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your last name, but just the attention to detail and the effort that was put into like creating this, like seeking out actual licensed therapists to make sure that the writing of, you know, the style and just pretty much making sure everything was like accurate within the gameplay. So it's like, it's something that's fun and entertaining, but at the same time, something that you can genuinely learn from. That is my jam. That is my jam. So I'm even more excited for it. And I'm just ready to dive in. So I'm gonna stop yapping too much and I'm gonna go ahead and dive in. But I do want to say thanks to, it's at the bottom right here, Safe in Our World. I had never heard of that before, and thanks to seeing it in this game, it's something that I did go and look up. I didn't know this was a thing. So it's pretty much this whole organization dedicated to like mental health and the representation of it and the education of it within like video games. So I'm gonna be exploring even more of what's over there, but yeah, I would definitely check that out if this is something that you know, resonates with you and is important to you. But that was a beautiful thing. Yes, very much so. But yeah, without further ado, I'm ready to get into this. Vampire Therapist. The Vampire Therapist explores or touches on sensitive topics such as war, abuse, addiction, sexual oppression, suicidal ideation, religion, and of course death. These may be uncomfortable or upsetting for some readers. We recommend that readers with a history of trauma related to any of these topics approach this game with caution. Naturally, a game about vampires will also involve blood and sexual themes. Strong language is also present. Vampire Therapist was developed in consultation with licensed therapists, but it should not be considered a substitute for therapy unless you're a vampire.
My name is Sam Walls, and I'm a dead man. Well, kinda dead at least. See, I'm a vampire. Now, if you think that means all that Dracula hooey, like hissing, wearing skin-tight leather, and hunting mortals for sport, I wouldn't blame you one bit. That's exactly the sort of thing I did in my younger years with my former gang. And let me tell you, a vampire who's good with a gun can be a real terror. I got lucky, though. I met some kind mortals who saw beyond my fangs. They taught me my letters and showed me how my thinking was keeping me from finding any kind of peace. After they passed on, I roamed America's majestic wilderness for nigh on 90 years, figuring out myself and what it means to be a vampire. And I found revelation. What I realized was, it ain't fangs that make us monsters. It's the self-defeating ways we think. Anywho, as the world started getting smaller, my old vampire gang tracked me down. Them being my kin, I wanted to help them see the world like I did, but they still have the same monster mindset I used to have. Good thing I'm a quick draw. But I got hooked up with this newfangled internet thing and found a vampire who's helping my kin find their way. A fella named Andromachos, supposed to be 3,000 years old. He invited me to come out to Europe to learn from him. I figure someone older than time has got to have the answers. I'm going on a trip, I guess. This feels like my opportunity to do some good in the world. I've been looking, and now it's time to give back. Vampires ain't monsters. Or at least, they don't have to be. And come hell or high water, I'm gonna prove it to them.
Okay. Let's go.
Well, I think this is the address. Number 27, Clean Flitter Mouse Street.
Okay, I'm glad his voice acting because I was gonna butcher that even worse.
Sure is a hell of a lot of ruckus for this time of night. People stay up late here. Wait a minute. These folk are vampires. Better watch myself.
Oh, this art is so beautiful.
Good nobbin, folks. Speaking the English?
Ja, hello, Alta. Are you here to party with us at the hottest club?
Okay, I select options. Am I here to party with y'all? I don't think that's why I initially came here. What do we have here? Tell me you're here to party, ask about the dress code, ask about, how do you say this again? Andromachos. Ask about the club. Hey. Oh. I don't know. I'm kind of wanting to go in. Let me see. Tell them you're here to party. I'm not. I will ask about the individual that did I come here to see him? I think so.
I'm looking for Andromachos.
Yeah. What's up?
You mean the club owner? Ja, that is why we are here.
Oh, he
If you're
owns
lucky,
this.
he will invite us to the private party at the end of the night.
Well, what happens there?
Voices
I
are
think maybe
beautiful.
it is too kinky for Americans to hear.
Oh. Okay, so to see him, ask about the club.
Well, what's so special about this club?
Immernacht is the greatest club aller Zeiten. The owner makes sure everyone has a good time.
If anyone acts without respect, they are banned from the club forever.
I know that's right.
You are free to do and be whatever you like, as long as you are harming no one.
Y'all are so drippy. Like,
And
look
I
at
hear
the
that they are now
fits.
attracting sexy old cowboys.
Oh, so you think I'm sexy?
Shh, Maxie, he is old enough to be your grandfather.
Oh.
Oh, come on now. You're just flattering me. I'm only a couple 100 years old.
Oh mein Gott, he is so cute, Reinhard. Can I keep him?
Okay, well, if you like my outfit, then I think I should suffice. Like,
I can cut
the dress
loose.
code,
What
like,
kind
come
of
as you
party
are,
is this?
I guess.
The kind where we dance all night and get sexy.
Okay.
Oh, you're them kind of vampires.
Ach so, there are better things to suck than blood, or the...
Oh.
Although we have to get past the bouncer first. If we do not, I'm thinking our night is ruined.
Oh, wait a sec. There's something about what she just said. I can feel it. It reminds me of one of my revelations about the funny patterns in the way we vampires think.
What, about getting past the bouncer, or?
Well, let's see. One type of thinking I noticed I called hot branding. That's when we brand ourselves with names we can't get rid of.
Hot branding. I see that. Okay.
There's high noon mind. That's when we treat a situation like it's a do or die showdown.
Okay, I hope you can remind me of these.
And there's saloon thinking. That's when we act either helpless or invincible, like we've just drunk a pint of moonshine.
Okay.
I can always check my journal if I need examples. I kept all my notes about the funny ways we vampires think in there.
Okay.
I think I know which one of them funny ways they're thinking in, though. Hold on, compadres. You seem like the kind who can make their own fun.
I don't want to have my own fun. Inuka is the only place to be on Friday night.
Okay, are these okay? These are things I can select. Collected notes of Sam Walls. Cognitive distortions, my clients, my ramblings. The funny ways in which we think. Okay, cool. So I have hot branding, high noon mind, and saloon thinking. High noon mind. Sometimes things can seem black and white, win or lose, famine or feast. Live or die, like everything's a big showdown. It can feel like we've got only two options, winning the day or ending up with a stake in the heart. That's high noon mind. It's thinking in extremes and ignoring all the in-between. We stress ourselves out when stakes are high. Examples, if I can't get the best saddle, my butt's gonna break, no doubt. Either I show up ready to win the rodeo or I'd better just not show up. The fate of the Wild West is hanging on this gunfight. Okay. So high noon mind, like there's no in between. It's this or that. Saloon thinking. I want to find like a way to remember that myself. I will. A lot of us bloodsuckers have a habit of either feeling responsibility or soul control, or of feeling completely hopeless. Thing is usually neither is true. Habit of either feeling responsibility or soul control. Feeling hopeless don't mean we're powerless, and feeling untouchable doesn't mean we're invincible. That's saloon thinking. Either way, our real capabilities are somewhere in between. Kind of reminds me of hot branding a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry, high noon mind a little bit. Saloon thinking. With my dark powers, vampires shall dominate the mortal world. If a mortal discovers our secret, it's entirely my responsibility to deal with it. Saloon thinking. I'm gonna think of saloon thinking. I'm gonna take saloon like is someone that owns like a business owner owns a saloon, and they don't delegate or acknowledge when things are difficult for them and push through it. I don't know. I'm thinking of like someone that's a owner of the saloon and they don't ask for help. And if things are going bad, they're like, oh my gosh, no, the world is ending. I can't go on. And if things are going good, or they want to just take everything on themselves and they don't want to delegate or get help or anything like that. That's how I'm going to think of saloon thinking. That person that just wants to handle everything themselves. Yeah. Hot branding, we vampires sometimes call ourselves awful names. I'm a failure, I'm unlikable. It's like burning ourselves with a big old branding iron. Okay, every time we look at ourselves, we'll keep seeing those names. Okay, that one will be easy. Hot branding is just calling ourselves names that do no good. That one's easy for me to remember. I've missed that shot. I'm such a butterfingers. I can think of worse things to call myself. Crying over a horse You're sappy as hell. That fella doesn't like wearing leather. He's only a vampire wannabe. So is that so is it also it's about you can hot brand yourself or you can hot brand someone else, like talking shit about somebody else too? I'm seeing about hot brand, that's pretty easy to remember. That person that like sulks, has nothing but bad things to say about themselves, and I guess about other people as well. Oh, I knew mine. Just gonna soak that in a little bit more. Black and white, win or lose, big showdown. Feel like we only got 2 options. I'm thinking like live or die. I'm thinking like high noon mine is like fight or flight. Like thinking extremes and ignoring the in-between. Stress ourselves when the stakes are high. I'm thinking like that sympathetic and that parasympathetic nervous system getting triggered, like fight or flight, high noon, mine. Okay, saloon thinking. Okay, all right. So am I supposed to be identifying throughout this conversation which one is befitting of what they're saying? I don't want to have my own fun. It's the only place to be on a Friday night. Okay. Am I supposed to select something now? I don't want to have my own fun. It's the only place I want to be on a Friday night. Don't want to have my own fun. This is the only place I want to be on a Friday night. No. I'm gonna say high noon minds. Let me make sure. I'm gonna say high noon mind for that because saloon thinking, having a feeling responsibility of soul control, feeling completely hopeless. Soul control or feeling hopeless. Wait, I want to see high noon mind again. Theme black and white, win or lose. Live or die, like everything's a big showdown. It can feel like we've got only 2 options, one in the day. Okay, so saloon thing is not like her responsibility that she's taking on, but it feels like this one, she feels like it has to be this or that. So I'm gonna say this one.
Amigos, you're putting too much weight on this thing. It's
Okay.
a nightclub, not a high noon showdown. The night's full of possibilities.
Okay.
Reinhardt, I don't know what this means, but I like the way the sexy American talks.
You make us think that maybe it is better we haven't gotten into the club, because we are now meeting you.
Okay.
Hey, if meeting me makes your night better, I'm glad we met. I really gotta find Andromachos, though.
You have to get past the bouncer. He decides who gets in and who doesn't. And he hasn't looked our way all night.
Interesting.
Maybe I'll have a little word with him.
Let's go see what's up. What's
Excuse
up,
me,
bouncer?
friend. I hear you're the
Oh.
man to talk to around these parts.
Oh. Okay.
I'm here to see Andromachos.
Growls thoughtfully.
Right.
What is that? I got it.
Hey, thanks, amigo. You have yourself a fine night, you hear?
Cowboy, what about us?
Yo, you gotta come on now. You gotta let my friends in. Look at them. They look good. What you questioning? Bring them joy, dash their hopes. No, they're cool. Look, we sat out here, had a nice conversation. They calling me sexy and everything. Like,
Yeah,
let it
sure,
in.
they're friends of mine.
Yes, come on.
Have fun, mate.
Let's go. Let's go, my
Well,
peoples.
come on, you two. We ain't got all night. Yeah.
I feel like my eye is doing this
Dang,
weird
awful
twitching
rowdy
thing.
here.
Come on, my liver, dance with us!
Well, you kids have fun. I'll catch up with you later. Tarnation, I'd rather hear a gopher giving birth than this.
Oh,
I better talk to whoever's slinging drinks in this here saloon. They ought to know where Andromachos is.
Andromachos.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Well, well, look at you. We get a lot of 80s fashion in here, but not usually the 1880s.
Are you roasting me or you
What can I
appreciating?
get you, cowboy? The special's Red Bull and vodka. You down?
I never drink Red Bull. I'm actually looking for the owner. He around tonight?
Might be. What do you say your name was?
Sam Walls, begging your pardon.
Sam Walls, huh? I don't think I know anything about a Sam Walls. After all, I'm just a know-nothing bartender.
I already know what that is. Hot branding.
Now why she gotta say she's a know-nothing?
Right.
It gets my goat when vampires brand themselves like that. I think I'll say something. Well, hold on. What'd you just say?
I said I don't know any Sam Walls. I'm just a know-nothing bartender.
I don't know, because is it like it? I feel like some people say things like this to kind of almost play dumb or withhold information, but of course some people are saying it because that's how they feel about themselves. Like, oh, I'm just, you know, a lackey. I'm just a peon.
From where I'm standing, I see someone with style and confidence, not just a drink machine. Don't go branding yourself like that's all you are.
Okay, Sam. Okay, Sam, going out
Don't
getting
you go worrying about me, cowboy. The man upstairs warned me you were coming. I was just testing to see if you are who you say you are.
Okay.
Tell you what, let me give you something from our special reserve. I don't think you're looking for booze.
Well, thank you kindly, ma'am. I was wondering where the blood was. I met some vampires outside, so I figured this was a vampire club.
You met some gods, honey. They're here to dance and have fun.
So all these people are mortals?
How do you think the head vampire gets his blood? They can't wait to share it with him. It's a special experience. He's the only real vampire here. Well, him and Bert.
Bert?
You met him already. Bert, shuffle on over here.
Honestly, that makes sense, especially when she... Oh. Okay. When the guy was saying to his
This
girl
one's here
that
to
was
see the
calling him
big guy.
cute,
Show him upstairs, okay?
and she was like, or no, he was saying, oh, he's old enough to be your grandfather.
Good luck up there, cowboy. Hope you find what you're looking for.
Because I figure, like, with vampires, they're like hundreds plus years old, so why would he say something like that? So that makes sense that they're mortals.
Howdy. It's Sam Walls to see you, sir. The guy who's been sending you all them V-mails.
Can I, okay. Am I able to stop the automatic text? What is this? Skip line, reveal text, auto delay, message speed. Could I turn it off? What is auto delay? I think maybe the auto delay I want to turn off. I think this is right because I want to be able to, you know, I be yapping too, I be talking too, so I don't want to be talking and it automatically goes over to the next dialogue.
Yes, I know who you are,
Ooh.
Samuel Walls. You have come here because you believe you can help our kin.
Oh, he is
The
beautiful.
question is, are you first able to help yourself?
That's important. Yeah, I can help myself.
I've been fixing myself for more than a century now. I don't think I need help.
I didn't mean it like that. But...
Then you must prepare to learn a most difficult lesson. We all need help, Samuel. I am
Yeah.
pleased that you have come to receive mine.
Dang, you scared the heck out of me.
You must allow an ancient vampire his games. He will play them regardless. Please, sit down.
Oh, he look real spiffy too. Got the
What an
vest.
absolute pleasure it is
tie,
to
like, he
meet you
look
at last.
good.
I found your messages most intriguing.
Look at his cute little smile, showing his little fangs.
Afraid there ain't much here in the way of intrigue. I'm just a lonesome cowboy looking for answers.
Are you hot branding yourself?
You know, I receive emails every day from vampires seeking my help. You are the very first to seek my aid in helping others. This alone makes you intriguing.
Well, dang. I think you're gonna be sorely disappointed when you get to talking to me. I'm just honored you're giving me the time of night.
I have unlimited time, Samuel. I am pleased to share some of it with you. Our kind can be rather set in their ways. It is inspiring to see someone so young and eager to learn.
Yeah, well, I wasn't much for learning when I was alive. Just making up for lost time, I guess.
It sounds as though you have been handling your own life better than most. I was particularly intrigued by these revelations you had while walking in nature.
Oh yeah, them. Well, I give walking the credit. Nothing sorts my thoughts out better. After a few decades, I started seeing patterns in the way we vampires think.
Can you explain some of these patterns?
I've tried to explain them to other vampires, but it ain't never gone well. I can try, though. See, we tend to assume certain things just because we've been believing them since we were alive. Or we decide the world's against us just because we're hungry or tired or something. And when we start tackling problems that ain't real, we ain't fixing our real problems. That make any kind of sense?
When we start tackling problems that ain't real, we ain't fixing our problems. It's like a distraction.
Fascinating, Samuel. These revelations that you had in the woods, mortal psychologists have a term for them. They are called cognitive distortions.
Cognitive whoozy what now?
Cognitive distortions. They are exactly as you described them. I will explain in a moment. Please, tell me about these specific revelations you had.
Okay, let's start with hot branding.
See, I used to be in a gang. They were my whole existence. If you asked me who I was, I would have said, I'm a murdering bastard. Once I got away, I realized how small-minded that was. I was Sam before I was a murdering bastard, but that's how I was choosing to brand myself.
It's like enmeshment.
My old gang's still around, and they're still branding themselves like that. They can't see themselves as anything but killers.
Very astute, Samuel. I favor the clinical term, however, which is labeling.
Labeling.
You correctly discovered that labeling is a reductive act. When we call ourselves names, even if we find them accurate, we create prophecies we are doomed to fulfill. For millennia, I thought of myself as a killer. It was not untrue that killing was how I made my way in the world. I was an unstoppable warrior and assassin. But with this label, I limited myself for ages. I did not only kill people, I also killed potential aspirations I might have had. See whether you can catch me doing some labeling in my next few statements.
Okay. Oh, it's updating the terms because it was more in Sam's own perspective of what he called it. So now it's changing them. Cool. I'm like, I was gonna try and remember in the way that he described it.
Old, I am ancient.
I am so old, I am ancient.
Oh, come on. I know you've been kicking around a long time, but don't go labeling yourself as ancient.
Oh, I'm like, why did it shake like that? What did I do
According
wrong?
to definition, I am ancient. It is not a label, but a specific classification of my age.
Okay, so I was wrong?
Well, you look pretty good for being ancient then.
And do?
The secret is moisturizer. But let us continue. Call me whatever you like, but don't call me late for dinner.
Labeling?
Late for dinner? But that's labeling.
I'm wrong?
Kind of reductive to boil yourself down to being late for dinner.
Late for dinner is not a label, Samuel. It is a temporal situational description, and a joke almost as old as I am.
Right. But do I have to choose one of these options, or can I just bypass it? Because I didn't want to.
Do not be discouraged, Samuel. Let us continue. How shall I describe myself? Ah, yes, I am a mass murderer.
That's certainly labeling. Because you're condensing all that you are to being a mass murderer. That has to be right.
Well, that's about as clear a labeling as it gets. Yeah, we vampires tend to do a lot of killing, but reducing ourselves to killers ain't doing us any favors.
Excellent, Samuel. You are correct. Labels can be cages that we lock ourselves in. I was a mere murderer for most of my existence because that is how I labeled myself.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Sam Walls, the murderer, reprobate, and good for nothing.
Those are not how I would describe the Sam Walls I see before me.
Aww.
Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
Yes, I do. Let's do the high noon mine.
Well, I
first.
noticed how we stress ourselves out by making everything a battle of do or die absolutes. High noon mind, I call it. Like that feeling you get right before a big shootout.
What feeling is that?
I must confess I have no experience with this feeling. I engaged in Mortal Kombat long before the age of gunpowder.
Okay. Same. Well, yeah.
But the sentiment you describe mirrors the words of my old friend Marcus Aurelius. He used to say that the magnitude of life's challenges often turn us into our worst selves.
Magnitude of life's challenges.
You mean Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor?
Of course, his name was Marcus. Marcus was a bedroom name.
Oh, okay.
You mean you and the emperor were...
I know that's right.
It was ancient Rome. Penetration was similar to a handshake.
Damn.
My apologies. I somehow forgot you were American. But let us discuss this high noon mine. I believe we can broaden your definition. Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon of binary thought polarized thinking, but I like to call it Nosferatu thinking.
Nosferatu thinking?
It means you are thinking in black and white.
I get it. That's pretty funny.
I believe it encompasses the breadth of the distortion. One is not flatly weak or strong, good or evil, smart or stupid, a success or a failure. The truth is far more complex and colorful. Not every high noon gunfight ends in oblivion, correct?
Well, yeah, that's true. Getting shot still ain't fun, but it ain't the end neither.
A perfect example, Samuel. Now, try to catch me using Nosferatu thinking.
Okay. So I'm still trying to determine and figure out if when he is not doing it, do I just not choose anything at all? And just, we'll see.
I will give you a series of statements, and one of them will contain Nosferatu thinking. I will repeat them if you miss it. If I do not drink blood, I will surely die.
That's true.
Death eventually comes for us all.
That is true.
Mortals will always fear our kind.
I think that would be the
That's
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu thinking right there. I've met mortals who knew who I was and weren't scared.
Okay. So before I was doing it incorrectly, I thought I had to choose one of the labels, but I didn't have to.
Very good, Samuel. And even if you hadn't, to say mortals will always fear us ends any hope that they might not.
Right.
Always is such a terminal word, is it not? Would you like to discuss more of your revelations with me?
I got one more for ya.
I
Saloon
realize that as
thinking.
vampires, we can get the feeling of the power that comes with immortality and strength, but then we get hopeless and aimless over time. It's kind of like the fella you see in the saloon at the bottom of a bottle of whiskey. Either he thinks he can fight everyone, or he's crying into them last drops because he thinks life's hopeless. It's saloon thinking, two extremes that probably ain't true.
A fascinating observation, Samuel. Your saloon thinking was described in my time as the battle between hubris and nemesis, the twin excesses of arrogance and self-pity.
Oh man, it made me wish I'd gotten some schooling. Maybe I would have figured this stuff out earlier.
You live forever, my friend. There is no rush. What you have identified is a phenomenon where individuals perceive either an illusion of control or a lack of control. Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon you have described a control fallacy. Rarely do we have complete power over our situations or no power at all. But we create this illusion that stops us from attempting to change our perceived situations.
Yeah, you're right about that. I used to think I'd never get away from my gang. Maybe that's what made me stick with them for so long.
Yes, you see how cognitive distortions keep us from facing reality, whatever that reality may be.
Control fallacy. I feel like that's what keeps people like me stagnant, and I feel like that has a lot to do with procrastination as well. Like that's what's happening in your mind. The procrastination is an answer to that. If you feel like something is much too difficult for you to handle or something is unobtainable for you, even though it's something you like that you want to do, but you're telling you, oh, I won't be able to do that. You know, I'm certainly in a similar boat. It's a test I need to take and pass, and it just feels very overwhelming. So the fact that it feels so overwhelming for me, it gets in the way of me actually studying for it, which is making it a self-fulfilling prophecy. And of course, it's going to be something that's unobtainable if I'm not putting myself in a position for it to be something that I can grasp or attain.
Of course, I am so old and powerful that I am always in control.
Oh, am I? Okay. I am so old and powerful that I am always in control. Absolutely not.
You're testing me, ain't you? That's a control fallacy right there.
Well
Sure
done,
is.
Samuel. I am indeed very powerful, but the cosmos holds no awareness of Andromachos. Of course, as you expertly pointed out with your analogy about the man at the bottom of a whiskey bottle, a control fallacy can be positive or negative. Listen to my next few statements and try to find a control fallacy. Simply let me continue if you do not detect one.
Okay.
The sun will eventually burn out. I will roam a cold, dead earth, and there is little I can do about it.
The sun will eventually burn out. I will roam a cold, dead earth, and there is little I can do about it. I mean, if you ask me, that's kind of true. Like, if you're a vampire and it gets to that point, like, what you gonna do? Restore the sun? You can't. Black and white thing. I don't think this is... No, control fallacy is what we're on. Control fallacy. There's little I can do about it. I'm gonna go to the next one.
My kitty cat died. I shall be lonely forever.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I'm sorry about your sweet kitty, but you can always pick up a new one. Or there's lots of them just waiting for a loving home, so you don't need to be lonely.
I wouldn't have said it like that.
It was just an example, Samuel. Well spotted. But I do speak from experience. I felt this way once when a pharaoh I was dating had our cat mummified.
Damn. Andrew Marcos, like, I need to hear the dating history.
I went into a murderous depression that nearly decimated the continent. But I had the power to help myself all along by adopting a new friend in need of a home.
Oh, dang, don't let me get on your bad side.
I doubt you shall see it, Samuel. Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
I think that's all of them. Or at least the ones that were the most obvious to me.
Okay.
That you recognize the concept of cognitive distortions at all is most impressive, Samuel. What took me nearly 3 millennia to understand took you merely 2 centuries.
Right.
Oh, come on, you're just flattering me. I'm just a dope stumbling his way through one life.
Are you now? Tell me, Samuel, what kind of cognitive distortion are you exhibiting when you call yourself a dope?
Labeling.
Yeah, I'm doing some labeling. I gotta watch myself, huh?
Mm-hmm.
As long as we retain any humanity, we will have cognitive distortions. What we are aiming for is not to become perfect beings, but to understand and accept ourselves. As long as we can recognize cognitive distortions, we can address our real challenges. One cannot drink blood from a straw man, after all.
Huh. I ain't never heard that one before, but I like it.
If it helps solidify the concept in your mind, then I am well satisfied. I know you came to learn from me, so I will do my best to honor your good intentions. Let us ensure that you understand the concepts of labeling, control fallacies, and Nosferatu thinking.
Let's go,
I
I'm
will
ready.
give you a series of statements, and each one will contain a cognitive distortion for you to identify. I will begin. If I invite over my vampire friends, I know I'm going to have to deal with guano all over the place when they turn into bats at the end of the night.
Guano all over the place when they turn into bats at the end of the night. That is making me think a control fallacy. I'm going to have to deal with guano all over the place when they turn into bats at the end of the night. You're putting all the responsibility on yourself, right?
That there's a control fallacy, sir. You're acting like you've got no control, but you could lay down some ground rules for guests.
Okay.
Or some newspaper.
Or express concern to my friends that they have not been toilet trained. Very good, Samuel. Let me try another. I am Andromachus, the ancient darkness, the scourge of the Mediterranean, the mortal's bane.
Ancient darkness, scourge of the Mediterranean, and the mortal's bane. Sounds like you're labeling yourself with that.
Well, that's definitely some intense labeling. Those are some hard names to get over.
You are not wrong. Those names followed me for millennia. It was most stifling. Let me try another then. If my club's revenues do not significantly increase, I will end up living on the street.
Nosferatu thinking.
That there's got to be Nosferatu thinking. There's a huge space between making a ton of profit and living on the street.
Right.
Indeed, you are correct. I run my club at a considerable loss, but 3,000 years of banking interest means that money is not really an object to me anyway. Samuel, now I am not only intrigued by you, but also impressed. I would very much like to teach you my ways, but I must demand something of you first.
What's that?
Anything. I'm here to learn.
You must receive therapy yourself. I will not have you seeing clients without a commitment to your own mental health.
Fair.
Oh, now,
Very
hold on
fair.
just a minute. I don't know that I need therapy. I'm feeling pretty good about myself these days.
Samuel, we
Damn.
all need therapy to live in this world. You have been speaking in cognitive distortions since the moment you walked into my office.
Look in the mirror,
I
Sam.
have. I didn't even notice.
They are most insidious, but I am here to help you identify and challenge them. You have walked alone for too long, Samuel. Allow me to share my experience with you.
Well, all right, if you say so. I appreciate your taking the time to work on this, old cowpoke.
Is that labeling, Sam? I get it though. Like, I've certainly been there. Like with Sam, it was a period of my life where I spent majority of my time completely isolated and alone, and it's where I went into like this whole deep dive of like spiritual enlightenment and things like that, and inner peace, and I was super into it and still have a lot of respect and appreciation for Eckhart Tolle. And I remember at that time in my life, I just thought I was so like healed. I thought that, I don't know, I was just so enlightened, so elevated that nothing could like trigger me or, you know, get in my way or anything like that. And the moment that, like, it's so easy, like when you're by yourself or isolated or have nothing or no one around you to kind of poke at those little triggers, it's so easy to think that they're not there. But once you are placed in a situation or you go out into the real world where nothing is predictable, like you have no controlled space, when you're outside of that controlled space of, you know, isolation, when you're outside of that and anything is like fair game and you're interacting with a plethora of different people, that's where like those little buttons start to get pressed and you're like, oh. Oh, that's how I felt. I was like, oh, I thought I was done with this. But nah, when you get in them situations and you realize like it's in there, like it's as deep rooted as it may be, like those feelings, those triggers, that pain is still in there.
We have all the time in the world, Samuel. But for now, you must be eager for something fresh. Please, dance, drink your fill. We will begin tomorrow.
Okay then. Well,
You ain't
sir,
gonna tell me
it's been an
twice.
honor.
You don't have to call me sir, you know.
All right then, Andromachos.
Andromachos.
Andromachos. So was he saying it wrong? Why are you steering me down the wrong path, Sam? Andromachos.
Andromachos.
Sir.
Just call me Andy.
All right, Andy. I'll see you tomorrow then.
Andromachos.
Dang, look at all them mortals, sweating, blood pumping. I am thirsty. There ain't no power on this earth that'll get me on a dance floor.
You better than me, Sam. Cause I'll be on that dance floor.
Maybe I'll see if the bartender's got anything for me.
Okay. Go in the corner, have a little drink.
Clint Eastwood again.
Ooh.
How'd it go, cowboy?
Seems I'll be sticking around.
I'm sorry.
Guess I better get used to things around here.
Good to hear. About time someone helped Andy with his work. Seems you vampires have a lot of problems to fix. Name's Crimson, by the way.
Fine meeting you, Crimson. How do you know so much about what Andy's doing?
Pillow talk. I'm his blood partner.
Oh,
No
that's
shit.
right.
How's a mortal get hooked up with an ancient vampire?
Crimson is living my dream.
I'm a rock
My
climber.
dream.
I stumbled into one of his lairs in Madagascar, found a cave while climbing a mountain, and there he was, naked in a hot tub.
Damn.
Dang. Must have been a sight.
You ain't kidding, cowboy. Didn't expect a luxury apartment with a gorgeous naked vampire inside of a mountain. We hit it off, and he asked me to come back here with him. I like an adventure, so I said, what the hell? I'll date the gorgeous Dracula.
You're living my
But what are
dream.
you doing talking to me, cowboy? The blood's running hot on the dance floor, and these kids don't mind a little biting.
Ain't no way I'm dancing. There's gotta be a better way to get something fresh to drink.
Reinhard, look, it's the sexy old guy again.
You should buy us a drink, old guy. You'll probably get lucky. Actually, you will definitely get lucky.
Why don't you buy me a drink?
Pleasures
Y'all.
of the flesh ain't exactly what I'm after tonight.
That's because you haven't experienced these pleasures with us yet. Buy us a drink and you will discover great satisfaction by us.
No. I'm good. Tell them they can support themselves. Tell them you don't have the money. They don't need to know my financial business. Tell them alcohol is bad for them. I'm not here to lecture them. Tell them they're not your type. Yeah. I ain't speaking for me. I'm Sam. I'm Sam right now. So I feel like I see Sam in a different scenario. I mean, I ain't gonna put him
I
through
ain't
that.
buying you a drink. You ain't exactly my type.
Oh, we don't want to marry you. We just want to have fun with you.
You kids are too much.
Right. Like, get
Look,
out of
kids,
here.
You seem like nice enough folks, but I wasn't planning on buying drinks tonight.
Right.
Stop teasing the cowboy, Kinder. They're just messing with you. Drinks are free here.
Dang, really? Ain't never been to a saloon with free hooch.
Call it a drink exchange.
Huh. So, everyone here knows they might be sharing blood?
Only as long as there's consent. We like to create a safe environment here.
I'm a homebody, but I would go here. Most certainly.
Why don't you take Reinhard and Maxie here back to the kink room?
Wait, kink room?
Mm-hmm. You're not in Kansas anymore, cowboy. We are not afraid of sex here.
I'm from Missouri, but point taken.
Nobody has to do anything they don't want to do in there. Just have fun and drink your fill, handsome. I'm sure I'll be seeing plenty of you. Maxie, Reinhard, this is one of our special customers.
Ach so, ein Vampir. I'm thinking we are all getting lucky then.
My neck throbs with anticipation.
Dang. Guess I'm going to a kink room then. Thanks, Crimson.
I knew a man who wore
Oh, it's
this
so
much
pretty.
leather couldn't be boring.
Yeah, well, you got me pegged.
Careful, Sam.
Is that what we are doing now? Give me the document and I will sign myself up for it.
Well, really ain't in Missouri no more. Look, I'm more into biting.
Oh, your teeth look perfect. Are you going to bite me with those?
That's the plan. Who's going first?
Okay, Sam.
Oh, me.
Well, step right on up. Remember, Sammy boy, just stick the tips of them fangs into the blue veins and we'll all have a nice time.
The tips of the fang. Oh, whoa. Hold up now. Whoa. What do you mean the blue vein? How do I move?
Du Dummkopf, du hast mir in die Arterie gebissen.
What did I do?
Well, quit moving.
I hurt him? No. I genuinely don't know how to do this. How do I do this? A, to bite the blue veins. What the? Now, what in tarnation? Am I
Maxie, I think this one may be a virgin.
Okay, look. Help me.
I ain't a virgin. I'm just a little nervous.
Don't worry,
kinda
mein
cute.
Dunkelsus. I'll be gentle.
Dang it, quit moving.
I am not moving, mein Liebling. Try once more. Oh, das hat sich gut angefühlt.
Did I do it?
Oh, that's a good thing.
Is it my turn yet?
Sure thing. Come on over.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm assuming one of the things are supposed to touch the blue part, and once it does.
Oh, Reinhard, the hot old
Okay.
vampire wore me out.
Me too, Maxie. I feel as though I have set up a mail server.
Yeah.
Reinhard, mein Sucke Fledermaus. Ich bin so müde, sexy zu sein.
I will get us a taxi cab, Liebchen. Und du, cowboy? Next time we will talk about that thing you mentioned earlier.
Pegged.
Oh, right, that thing. Now that I've had something to drink, I should probably get to my coffin.
Samuel, wait a moment. I see you got your fill. Are you heading out?
Yeah, I figure I could use some shut-eye. I locked up my coffin over at the storage center.
Storage center? Please, you can use my guest coffin. I insist. You must be well rested for the challenges ahead.
Guess I got a big night tomorrow, huh? I should get a good day's sleep.
Wonderful. Please, follow me.
Well,
You just want
dang,
me under my house.
This is mighty plush. Guess it's one of them smart coffins.
Oh, smart coffin.
Let's see what's on TV.
Okay, this looks so cozy.
Hey, I remember this movie. We were so proud to finally get some representation. Not sure I should stay up watching movies, though. Well, ain't much else to do in here. I think it's about time I hit the hay. Hope I'm cut out for all this.
I'm sure you are, Sam. Oh my goodness, this is so... I love it!
Samuel, good evening. I hope you slept well.
Like the dead, as they say.
I was hoping to save you some breakfast, but I've already sent them on their way.
Oh, that's all right. I'm still pretty full from last night. Them goth types were practically throwing themselves at me.
I am not surprised. Perhaps I should be concerned that some of my guests will follow you home.
Well, gosh, if I still had mortal circulation, I'd be blushing.
Why are you so embarrassed, Samuel?
Ah, hell. Guess we should just save it for therapy, huh? We gonna get started now?
If you like.
Why not? I'm eager to get going. Let loose, Doc.
Very well. Let's start with the first question any therapist asks then. What brought you to me? Why is becoming a therapist so important to you?
Well, gosh, I remember what it was like. Being all angry, hungry, and scared all the time. It ain't no way to live. When I see vampires acting the way I used to, I just need to show them there's more to unlife.
And why is that up to you?
Get into it.
You, of all people, know how lost our kind can be. Preying on the weak, dating mortal high schoolers. I've got to make them see their potential. That's what I'm here for. I know it.
That is a lot of responsibility to place on yourself.
You got a funny look in your eye. Am I doing one of them distortion things?
You are most perceptive. Yes. Perhaps you can tell me what it is.
Yes, it is control fallacy.
When you say you are here...
Well, I guess that's a control fallacy, right? I can't assume I'll be able to help other vampires the way I was helped.
Very good, Samuel. Control fallacies are hard to avoid when one feels strongly about something.
It's so funny because I feel like Sam, a lot of how he is thus far resonates with me. And it's so funny because it's the same. Like, you'll be doing things in a certain way, saying things or speaking to people in a certain way, and you don't see where the issue is with what you're saying and how you're saying it, even if it's coming from a good place. Like, just because something's coming from a good place, it does not mean it's law, you know, or that's the way it should be. And I've certainly been there. It's like with him comparing how he once was and how things in life were difficult for him, and his perception was so, like, you know, minimized, like, of just the world, instead of realizing how vast and just how there was a different way of doing life or on life. But I certainly see that in me, to where it's so many things that I've experienced, many painful things that I have, and when I encounter or speak to someone that's going through something in real time that I once went through, it's like this part of me that just almost, I have to give them advice, I have to, like, steer them in the right direction. And it's just like, you can't do that with everyone. You can, you know, if they're welcoming it, give your piece, give your perspective, or if they ask for advice, you can give it, but it shouldn't be a requirement for them to follow said advice. And if they don't, you just, you know, you wash your hands of them. It's, if you want to do that for someone, it's for them, but they choose what to do with it. They can't just, okay, I'm going to absolutely follow your advice, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm going to do this instead. And then you're satisfied with that. No, you have, it's up to them. So I feel you,
Your
Sam.
fate is not to transform every vampire you ever meet, even those who are your clients. You will do what you can do, and that is enough. But I am eager to learn how you developed this desire to help our kin find a different way of thinking.
Well, like I told you when I first emailed you, I was a real nasty son of a bitch when I first became a vampire. When I look back and see what a no-account piece of shit I was, I ain't nothing but embarrassed.
Whoa, whoa, calm down, Sam. Chill with the labeling. You gotta have some grace for the you of the past. You can't just.
It all seems pretty stupid to me now. Here we are living forever and all we can do is kill. That's the dumbest thing I ever did here.
And it's also like, because you were once in a situation like someone in a situation that they're going through, because you used to be the way that they were, it's a lot of like judgment that's being projected onto that person that really is towards yourself. So that's what it sounded like to me. Like Sam, like his language, like, this is stupid, we're living forever and all we can do is this, that's so dumb. Like, he's judging himself and that's being projected out onto others that he thinks is living in a way that he once was.
I'm going to stop you for a moment. Stupid, no account piece of shit, nasty son of a bitch, dumbest thing.
Call him out.
Do you hear the way you are talking about yourself?
Call him out.
With respect, sir, I earned all them names. I killed women and children. Half the ghost towns out west are my doing. I didn't think of nobody but myself.
He's very disappointed in how
Pretend you are my
he was.
therapist. If I sat here and called myself a no-account piece of shit, what would you tell me?
Labeling.
I'd say you were doing some labeling. And I guess I'd tell you to look at yourself a little more kindly.
Have some grace.
Extend the same compassion to yourself then, Samuel. How are you to move on from being a nasty son of a bitch if you are labeling yourself? If you wish to be a guide to other vampires, you must start with compassion for them and for yourself.
Oh, speak on it.
So,
Speak on it.
Now that you've gotten all that horrible name-calling out of the way, please tell me, how did you find your sense of purpose?
Well, I was on the run, you see. The Wild West was ending and the Pinkertons were starting to get the better of my gang. I went into hiding and found a strange group of folks out in the country. They knew I was an outlaw right away, but they didn't judge me for it. They didn't even care that I was a vampire. They welcomed me like a friend, even shared their blood with me. They taught me how to appreciate the beauty of the night, and I started seeing things I'd never noticed before. They taught me my letters, philosophy, and how to question things instead of being scared of them. I think about them every day of my own life. They somehow freed themselves of all the judgments of the time and were better off for it.
These must have been the 19th century American transcendentalists, yes?
Yes, sir. I'm glad I died when I did, because their like just don't exist no more. Once my community died out, I started walking. That was something else they taught me how to do. There ain't nothing like having a walk and a think. I walked in nature for about 90 years and just took in all the grace and beauty of my country. I guess I was kind of selfish, though. I should have been helping other vampires the way the Transcendentalists helped me.
Why?
Why waste 90 years walking when I should have been helping others? Seems pretty obvious to me. I could have done a lot of good in that time.
You had to learn for yourself, though.
But your should turns that which you could find fulfilling into a duty. You create an extrinsic motivator. Should statements are another cognitive distortion, something created by your own mind. Nature asks almost nothing of you.
Should statements. I feel like a lot of that comes from like society as well, and this checklist of what we should do and should have and should be.
Even if your
We
should
internalize
comes
it.
from a place of good, it creates undue pressure. And what do we do once we are pressured? We resent the shoulds. We procrastinate. And as you know, we have a lot of time to procrastinate.
You got that right. Why do today what you could do next century?
Exactly. Should statements remove the intrinsic joy from that which you find fulfilling?
Hold on, though. Ain't there some things we really should do?
Of course, there are things we must do, but nature herself tells us what they are. We invent the rest. Here,
Right.
let me give you an exercise. Listen closely. See whether you can find the should statement that is a distortion. I should go to the vampire dentist. You know what they say. If you have bad fangs, you get bad blood. I should drink blood today. I should take my blood partner Crimson out on a date.
I'm a little lost.
Saying you should take Crimson out on a date is a should statement.
Okay.
You've turned something you want to do into something you have to do.
Right. Okay.
That's
okay,
right,
I get it.
Samuel. You know, I couldn't be more pleased with you. Your time in nature was clearly well spent.
Right. Like, you wouldn't be able to have this thought process if you didn't take that time for yourself. So it's like, even though it's you saying I should have been doing this, that, and the third, like, that time was necessary as well for you to evolve and, you know, contribute to the way that you think now.
Thanks, I suppose. But if you don't mind my saying so, I hope you're treating that mortal lady right.
Thank you. Please, ask her yourself.
Oh!
I imagine she would share her blood with you. You look like her type.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. I've only been in Europe for a couple of days. I ain't gonna go after my teacher's girlfriend.
She does what she wishes, and that is why I chose her as my blood partner.
I fucking love vampires.
Samuel, even if it beats no longer, you have a good heart. I think you will be an excellent therapist.
So far, that good heart of mine hasn't amounted to much, but I'm willing to give it my best shot.
Stop.
You're uncomfortable with praise, aren't you, Samuel? Every time I say something positive, you find a way to negate it.
Call him out!
I just don't think I should be doing any bragging. I spent my first 50 years killing. I
He
spent
does
the next
not.
90 walking in the woods.
He does not let that go. He carries that with him.
I've tried to walk a better path since then, but I ain't no saint, Auntie.
I did not say you were. Having met several so-called saints, I can attest that none of them were either.
That part. That fucking part, bro.
I understand your discomfort, Samuel. I, too, have done terrible things that I cannot erase. But is erasing the good I have done worthwhile?
Well, I guess when you put it like that, it sounds kind of silly.
It's another cognitive distortion, one that mortal psychologists call disqualifying the positive. I understand that the actions of your past are difficult to bear, but what we are here to do is accept reality, with both its positive and negative aspects. I am not saying that you should disqualify your negative actions, but merely note when you disqualify the positive ones.
Right.
Let us try an exercise. See whether you can challenge me when I disqualify my positive deeds. I am Andromachos, one of the most powerful vampires alive. Before I became the vampire I am now, I did exceptionally terrible things.
I don't think that's disqualifying. It's a fact.
I have defiled the innocent. I have killed countless people.
Did I do this wrong?
The good I now do pales in comparison to the evil I have done.
Okay, this is it. Okay.
That's the one. You're literally disqualifying the positive by comparing it to the evil stuff you done.
Well done, Samuel. I believe the recognition of this distortion will serve you well when you start to see clients tomorrow.
Whoa, tomorrow? I only just started learning these here cognitive distortion things.
I'm loving
I
this.
will, of course, be with you. You needn't worry. I can sense your instincts and will help you.
But tomorrow, I just don't feel ready yet.
My friend, we are never truly
ready.
But if it would ease your concerns, we can practice with further examples. Would that be helpful to you?
Let's go.
Yeah, I think I could use the help.
Very well, Samuel. Let's try some examples. I will give you a statement, and you find the cognitive distortion in it. I am far sexier than movie vampires. Therefore, I should be a movie star.
What's wrong with that? I am far sexier than movie vampires, therefore I should be a movie star. Should statement, I suppose, yeah. You don't have to do that just because you sexy.
Oh yeah, that's an easy one. That's a should statement right there. But you're not insecure enough to be an actor anyway.
Excellent, Samuel. Would you like another exercise?
Yeah.
If I cannot consume high-quality blood, I might as well drink blood from Florida.
I'm from Florida, like why? There's nothing wrong with my blood. That's so disrespectful. Oh no! Okay. Okay. Oh, no! I don't want to answer this because my blood is quality. Are you kidding me, Andromahos? Are you kidding me? I think that's Nosferatu thinking about people from Florida. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. We got off on a good start. Don't. If I cannot consume high quality blood. That is... I got so used to freaking high noon tide and this night and tornation that I'm trying to make sure I get the right terminology for it. Let me see. High quality blood. Might as well drink blood before Nosferatu. Control fallacy. That is... I think Wait. Control fallacy. If I cannot consume high quality... I'm a little lost. Maybe because I'm mad. I'm a little lost with this one. If I can't consume high quality blood, might as well drink blood from Florida. High quality blood from Florida. Might as well drink blood from Florida. I cannot consume. I think it's Nosferatu.
That's Nosferatu thinking, ain't it?
I already said that before too.
Correct, Samuel. That being said, I am sure there is still decent blood to drink in Florida, but I will bring a test kit anyway.
Moving
Would you
on.
like another exercise?
No, I'm done. I'm done.
I think I'm good.
I ain't trying to catch no more strays.
All right, Samuel. You must be hungry now. I suggest you get the liter inside you. We have a big night tomorrow.
How much is a liter?
Just get enough to drink, Samuel. We will not be able to work if you are hungry or tired. Now, please excuse me. I do have a date with Crimson tonight. I suspect I shall not return until nearly morning.
To be Crimson.
Yeah, of course. I hope you have a nice night out, Mr. Andy.
You as well, Samuel. Rest in peace. Ah, Samuel, glad to see you are awake. Your first client is on his way.
What, already? Look, Mr. Andy, sir, are you sure I'm ready for this? These are people's brains I'm messing with.
Fear not, my friend. You are a powerful vampire in your own right. To be so young and have so much empathy is quite a gift. All you need to do is listen, and I know the truth will reveal itself to you.
Shucks, wish I had your confidence.
Well, to a limited extent, I can see the future. If you are about to misinterpret a client's distortions, I will set you back on the right path.
You can see the future?
It's not that impressive, really. You start to see the patterns after 1,000 years or so.
Oh, am I supposed to... Is this something? It's not that impressive, really. Is this disqualifying the positive?
Well, dang. If seeing the future ain't impressive, that's gotta be a distortion. Disqualifying the positive, it's gotta be.
You barely require my aid as it is. If you need guidance, I will provide it to you telepathically.
Oh,
Don't
you can
think
get inside my
about it too much. When you
mind.
are 3,000, such things will cease to impress you. Let us look at your first client's case file.
Okay.
Dr. Drain, huh? He ain't got no first name?
Dr. Drain is a class of 1614 graduate of the Royal College of Physicians. He's been studying the nature of blood for the last several centuries. Became a vampire after a post-mortem blood transfusion experiment. Now runs a global pharmaceutical research company. Is now concerned that he has developed an addiction to a drug of his own formulation. Suggestion. Detected strong irritability on the phone. Investigate Drain's drinking and sleeping habits.
Many vampires go by one name. Families and titles seem to become more abstract after a certain age.
That makes sense.
Huh. So is it funny that he kept the title?
Indeed. You catch on quickly, despite your habit of disqualifying the positive. I will let you work now. I shall be meditating in my coffin, but I will sense when you need my help.
But
Samuel, I know you can handle this. Be yourself,
Come on,
and
Sam.
all will be well.
You got it. Okay.
Satan bless it all, I hate flying.
That's your greeting to me? Okay, Dr. Drain. First of all, I'm gonna need you to relax the muscles in your face, because why?
Hey there. God's blood, what on earth are you?
What?
My name's Sam. I'm the new therapist. Make yourself comfortable, Dr. Drain. And American as well. Good God. It's not enough for you lot to take over the world of the living. Even the halls of the dead aren't safe from you.
Come on now, come on now.
Oh well. I suppose your lot are all into this touchy-feely stuff, aren't you?
If that's what you want to call
And
it, love.
ignorance, even American ignorance, is bliss, I suppose. Oh, sweet ignorance, how I do wish I knew thee.
Are you okay? Like, I know you aren't, but...
Damn it, how am I gonna work with this fella? I gotta ask Annie.
He didn't even say hello, good morning, good night, nothing. He just came in talk about flying and...
Are you all right, Samuel?
You gave me this fella as my first client?
Right? Like, what are you trying to do to me? It's like hazing?
Why not? He is clearly hiding very little about his state of mind.
True.
How am I supposed to help him when he already sees me as the bad guy?
Have some compassion.
Use your instincts, Samuel. Think about how you have felt in your darkest hours. What does this poor vampire want?
He wants... I don't think he wants that. He might want to leave. He probably wants to complain. He got a lot to get off his chest because he started with a complaint. Like, that was his greeting, a
I think he
complaint.
just wants to complain.
I didn't mean to say it like that.
Perceptive, Samuel. He
Okay.
can hardly stop himself, can he?
Right, right.
So what? I just let him complain?
Just let him
Of
tire
course.
himself out.
Just give him a starting point to let it all out. It will make him feel better.
Right. Let some of that
yeah,
hot
if you
air
say
out.
so.
Don't worry, Samuel. You are doing wonderfully. I will release your time now.
Well, are you just going to sit there? I was just gonna ask how your trip here was. My trip was bloody wonderful. Until my familiar got a flat tire and I had to fly 30 kilometers here as a bat.
That's why you was mad.
I hate being a bat and I hate flying. Do you know an owl tried to eat me?
Damn.
Me, a creature that has lived for centuries, treated like common prey. I'm surprised he was even interested. You should see what an ugly little beastie I am when I transform.
Dang.
All I could do was screech and squeak until he went away. Well, I suppose I'm alive, in a manner of speaking anyway. You all right there, pal?
Just let it all out, Dr. Drain. Let it all
Yes,
out.
I'm fine. Well, I'm not, of course. I wouldn't be here otherwise. But for the sake of conversational integrity, fine.
No, we're not here for conversational
I take
integrity.
it you read my case file and know why I'm here?
He was going through a breakup. His horse died. He has an addiction. Right?
You're here for an addiction problem. Yes. Embarrassing, isn't it?
No.
What's to be embarrassed about? I remember when Ulysses S. Grant was president. Didn't seem to bother him. Oh, well, of course. How wonderful it is that I share the mental failings of people who only live a single lifetime. Hey, come on now. There's a part of us that's still mortal. Can't help that, just like we can't help being dead. So I'm discovering. Look, I just need some tips and I'll be on my way. Just give me all the tricks. Whatever one does to make addictions go away.
Listen here. It ain't no quick fix, baby. Ain't no
Tips?
quick fix.
Let me think.
Suggest a milder addiction. Suggest something tasty. Suggest a hug. It ain't no easy solution, baby. Why? Yeah, it ain't no easy solution.
Partner, there ain't no tips that'll magically cure you. But I'm here to listen. You know, I never in my life thought anyone would ever call me partner. Like partner, but not with a T.
Pardon?
And I know how you English love your tea. Thank goodness we can still process tea. We cannot live on blood alone. I appreciate the concern, though. I must admit, I rather saw myself above this whole addiction thing.
I feel like many people do.
Tell you what, let's not worry about being above or below anything. You're here now, so let's see what we can do. What exactly are you addicted to? It's a form of plasma, a catalytic compound of my own design, a necessary component of my own scientific goals. You're losing me. Well, let me try to make it simple. I have been able to replicate and even alter the molecular patterns that vampiric erythrocyte surface receptors receive.
Okay.
Our unique physiology gives us an increased ligand affinity, which is how we are able to process blood the way that we do.
Okay.
I can extend this receptivity and thus achieve my true goal: synthetic blood, freedom from the hunger that plagues us, and hope for all humanity. Well, dang, that sounds pretty impressive, Doc. Well, it doesn't work without a vampiric catalyst, and that is the plasma I am addicted to.
Vampiric catalyst.
Pathetic, isn't it? I have spent 400 years trying to steal the secret of blood, only to be engulfed by it, like Prometheus walking into a fireplace. Pathetic? Doc, where the heck would you get a word like that? You've come up with a synthetic blood. Man, I can barely get my spurs on some mornings. Maybe you've had a setback or two, but give yourself a little credit, compadre.
Right.
Credit? For wasting 400 years? Practically speaking, I'm in the same place as I was back when King James was in power. Only now I have a drug problem. Perhaps I must face facts. My professor was right. Nothing we ever do will make a damned bit of difference.
Samuel, listen to him. Do you recognize his patterns of thought?
There's some distortions in there, ain't there?
Lots of them, I think.
I knew you would sense them. Invite him to talk more about this failure of his.
I'll do my best. Now hold on just a minute there, cowpoke. I've heard you talk a lot about failure, but it sure sounds to me like you ain't thinking clearly if you think you're a failure. I am a realist, that's all.
One of those.
Look at me. 400 years of study and still dabbling with leukocytes. I'm saying I am surely the oldest, most well-studied doctor in the world. I should have achieved more than this. Well, it's all my fault, really. I cannot seem to motivate my scientists to reach the necessary level of dedication. It's always shocking to me how little urgency mortals have around death.
Okay. Control fallacy. Cannot seem to motivate my scientists to reach the necessary level of dedication. It's all my fault. Yeah.
So it's all your fault that you haven't come up with the perfect synthetic blood. It can't be anyone else's fault. Only I have the skill, the knowledge, and the experience. Pardon me for saying so, Doc, but it sounds like what you're doing is pretty dang complicated. Sounds to me like you're some kind of god if you expect control over life itself. Please, I am a scientist, not a spiritualist. It is not control I seek, but understanding. And are you ever gonna have perfect understanding? No, of course not. I'm not a wizard. So how about not putting saving the world on one person, Doc?
Right.
That is a simplification, but I take your point. As I was saying, now that I'm addicted to my own drug, I have joined the ranks of mortal celebrities in my utter irrelevance. Come on, Sam, there's some distortions in that whole speech you missed, you dang fool. Oh, tarnation, now I'm labeling. Hey, cowpoke, you mind repeating all that stuff you just said?
Oh, did I skip over it?
I
I'm
most
sorry.
certainly do mind, but very well. Look at me. 400 years of study and still dabbling with leukocytes.
Oh, I skipped over it. I'm sorry. Okay. 400 years of studying and still dabbling with leukocytes. This sounds like disqualifying the positive to me.
I don't know many people who would call working with leukocytes dabbling.
Right.
I mean, I gotta admit, I have no earthly clue what you're talking about. So unless you made up all them science terms, I think you might be doing more than playing with a chemistry set. Perhaps, but if we consider all there is to know about blood, I know precious little. But you know something. Yes, I concede I might know something about blood. I would hope so after 400 years. You still got more knowledge about blood than most, whether it's been 4 years or 400 years, amigo. Let's get back to what you were saying, though. I'm saying I am surely the oldest, most well-studied doctor in the world. I should have achieved more than this.
Should statement.
Well, who said you should have achieved more? Isn't it obvious? I should have something to show for 400 years of work. And what happens if you don't? Absolutely nothing at all. Well, that's my point. That is not as encouraging as you think it is. Ain't meant to be encouraging, just showing you a little reality.
You said you were a realist, didn't you?
Well, it's all my fault, really. I cannot seem to motivate my scientists to reach the necessary level of dedication. It's always shocking to me how little urgency mortals have around death.
Is this not where... Okay.
Now that I'm addicted to my own drug, I have joined the ranks of mortal celebrities in my utter irrelevance.
Join the ranks of mortal celebrities. Now I'm addicted to my own drug. My own irrelevance. My utter irrelevance. Addicted to my own drug. Black and white? Maybe? Join the ranks of mortal celebrities in my utter irrelevance. Calling himself irrelevant. Is that labeling? My irrelevance. Addicted to my own drug. Control fallacy. Alright, let's rule out. It's not a control fallacy. Black and white thinking. Addicted to my own drug. I have joined the race of mortal celebrities in my own. It might be Nosferatu thinking, because he's seeing just because he's addicted to the drug, he's exactly like celebrities that have been in said situations, and it's a lot in between, you know, you and them. So I don't think, I'm thinking of him calling himself irrelevant, but I don't think it's the labeling that's to be highlighted here. I think it's in Nosferatu thinking.
Pretty dark read on things. You know, lots of folks get over their addictions. Yes, but not me. I'm trying to tell you that even if you are addicted, that ain't the end, hermano. You got a lot of life and opportunity left in you. If you can call this life. Now hold on there. That's what I call Nosferatu thinking, straight from the coffin. Life ain't all black and white. It's got its shades of gray too, you know.
Look at you picking up on them turns you just learned.
Oh, well played, cowpoke. Perhaps I am being a little dramatic.
A little.
Yes, I'm aware that in reality progress has been made, enough to get to this point.
Right, come on.
But I didn't come here to ask for a pat on the back and to be told I'm a good boy.
Okay, that's not what's happening here.
Department, but I hear they do some of that stuff downstairs. Yes, we all know very well that the Continentals are more sexually liberated than we are. But as I say, I don't want all this therapy stuff. I just want to stop using this damn drug.
Okay, so why did you come here?
So what's so good about this stuff anyway? Why do you like it? I'm not certain. I don't remember what happens after I take it, but I wake up feeling, how do I put this, alive. Well, that don't sound so bad. A good nap can make me feel like a new man. I'm not talking about feeling refreshed. I mean I feel alive. As if I'm someone else. Someone who lives. And I wake up and find, oh gracious me, I am not depressed. You mean to tell me that you're going to sleep depressed every night? Oh, nothing of the sort. Oh well, I'm glad to hear that. You are assuming that I can simply go to sleep and my global scientific enterprise will run itself.
Oh, you don't sleep. Is that it?
Wait just a gosh darn minute. You're telling me you don't sleep? Yes, it's not as though we can get much deader already, and I have work to do.
Damn.
So you're not sleeping, and you're always depressed. I think we're starting to get somewhere. Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep.
You know, Dr. Drain kind of got a point there. It's like, I get it. All right, if you are a sapient individual aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. You see, this is why I probably can't be, because I'll be like, you know what? Can't be a therapist, because I'll be like, I absolutely agree with that statement. Is that if you're aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep. Is that a should statement? No, I meant Nosferatu thinking. If you are a sapient individual aware of the world around you, the only sensible reaction is to be depressed. Control fallacy? No. Or aware of the world around you. Aware of the world around you. So the way that the world is, obviously, is nothing I can do about it, so I must be depressed. I feel like it's starting to get a little more, you know, I'm gonna think a little bit more. Labeling, definitely not. I would say it's between, I don't think it's disqualifying the positive. I would say it's between control fallacy and Nosferatu thinking. Depression is the only sensible reaction. It only makes sense because of how this world is that I'm depressed. Control fallacy. Did I say no? No, I think I said between control fallacy and Nosferatu. Okay, so this is control fallacy, but the other end of the spectrum, not the I want to control everything spectrum, but the I'm helpless spectrum. Has to be. Oh.
Depression is the only sensible reaction. He makes the goths downstairs seem almost joyous in their perspectives, doesn't he?
Okay, well, Nosferatu then, right?
Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep.
I feel like it could be control, but I think it's Nosferatu, like black and white.
Come on now,
Okay.
It's a big world
Okay.
out there, and different things are depressing to different people.
Okay.
Everyone reacts to things differently. Ain't it true that a sensible person, as you call them, might even be a different degree of depressed? Very well,
True.
I suppose I might have been using a bit of mild hyperbole. Mild is putting it mildly, buckaroo. Buckaroo? Now I'm even more depressed. Regardless, I didn't come here to be a whiner. Oh, boo-hoo, on life is hard. Yes, we all know it's hard. In the moments I wake up, I feel free. I suppose it must be what being an ignoramus feels like. It wears off rather quickly, but I must admit that I've been chasing that feeling of false contentment. Partner, I gotta cut in here. You're saying a lot of things that just ain't true. Let's start from the top.
Oh, did I miss?
Oh,
I'm
don't be
so
such
sorry.
a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep.
Okay, I already got that one.
Regardless, I didn't come here to be a whiner. Oh, boo-hoo, on life is hard. Yes, we all know it's hard.
Ooh, what is this? Didn't come here to be a whiner. Labeling, right? Labeling himself as a
And why'd
whiner?
you say coming and talking to me makes you a whiner? Is that not what I currently am? Sounds to me like you're expressing yourself. Whiner is the word you used. Yeah, if you want to call it whining, that's up to you. But that's entirely your label. Oh, very well, call it moaning or whinging if you prefer. Moaning, whinging, bellyaching, still all just labels. I don't believe I shall be using the term bellyaching in any case. But as I was saying, in the moments I wake up, I feel free. I suppose it must be what being an ignoramus feels like.
I suppose it would be what being. What the hell is that? Ignoramus? What is that? The irony. An ignorant person. I was ignorant to the word. Feeling free, I suppose it must be what an ignoramus feels like. Nosferatu. Should statement. I feel free. Labeling, disqualifying the positive. Disqualifying the positive. Yeah. As it's a positive thing that you wake up feeling free, and then you got to go and throw an insult in with it. Why?
So you're telling me you feel good when you wake up, and then you call yourself an ignoramus?
Why is
Before
that?
you even get a chance to reflect on feeling good, you're insulting
You're insulting.
yourself.
Come on now,
That's
speak
what
to
I like
it.
to call disqualifying
Speak on it.
positive. I'm simply stating facts. Stating facts shouldn't impede an argument. What good is that fact doing anyone? It's about as useful as an empty holster. Lest I somehow forget that you were a cowboy. About this drug, though. Oh, very well. I suppose I might be discounting my experience. I don't know how to say this, amigo. You really don't like letting yourself be happy. Honestly, I'm failing to see the problem with taking this stuff. Seems like it's making you get the rest you need, and it makes you feel good. What's the problem? First of all, I do not need to rest. And partaking of this plasma does have downsides.
Let me know. What
kind
is
of
it?
downsides? I do not know what happens when I partake of the substance. However, when I wake up, I feel refreshed. But I also smell of blood and sex.
So it's like a blackout type situation, and you don't know what the hell you're doing during that.
Once I even woke up wearing a football jersey. It was most distasteful. I guess you must be having some kind of good time. That is not my idea of a good time.
He's like, I want to remember my good
I'm
time.
Dr. Drain. I am intelligent and worldly, not some ill-bred monster. I don't go gallivanting into godforsaken places to engage in depraved coitus and the consumption of dirty blood.
Oh, let me guess, in Florida.
It sounds to me like you're real good at denying yourself things. Well, I should be better at it.
Should statement.
You know, Doc, a wise old vampire recently told me something I'm about to tell you.
What is that, Sam? Speak on it.
You keep talking about the things you should be doing. You, compadre, are shoulding all over yourself. Oh, well, that is vivid, isn't it? I can now add incontinence to my already considerable list of faults. I'm being serious. I'm listening to you tell me I should be doing this, and I shouldn't be doing that. But who gave you all them shoulds and shouldn'ts? I don't know. It shouldn't matter, should it? I've been dead for over 400 years. It's the oldest stuff that sticks with us, amigo. We all got traumas. Heck, we're dead men. That's traumatic no matter what. What we gotta start with is you. You've been through a lot. Don't rope yourself up so tight. Listen, we're doing good work already, I know it. Now, let's not push too hard. I would really like you to think about where all them shoulds are coming from before we meet again. And be good to yourself, all right, partner? Don't feel like you gotta go cold turkey on that plasma stuff. Yes, well, all the same, I'd rather not do it at all.
That is concerning, you know, not knowing what he's doing during. So I understand why he feels like I shouldn't be doing this, because that's strange. That's not safe or healthy for him or for someone else that he could be harming.
Is that actually gonna happen, though? It might. You're dipping into it tonight, aren't you? I was thinking about it. All right, partner. Just give yourself a little compassion. That's all I'm asking. I'll admit, you've given me some things to think about. Not pleasant ones, mind. You can handle it, partner. You're way smarter than I am. Yes, well, that is certainly true. Very well. I shall do some reflecting, inasmuch as our kind can reflect. I shall see you in precisely 4 weeks, then. Farewell, Sam.
Very well, Dr. Drain.
Masterfully done, Samuel. I knew you would do well, but that doesn't make me any less pleased.
Well, that was a hell of a rush. That fella's holding on tighter than a holster to a gunslinger's hip. It felt real good to help him look at himself a little more kindly.
Good, Samuel. Treasure this feeling. But also rest. Go downstairs, get something to drink, relax in your coffin. Next week you shall see a new client. I think they will be an interesting challenge for you. I bid you good evening, Samuel. Rest in peace.
You too, Andy. Well, I guess it's time I got me some grub. Well, that's it, I guess. My first client. Can't believe I'm doing this therapy stuff already. Sure could use a drink. I'll check in with Crimson.
Well, if it isn't Yosemite Sam.
Damn.
How you doing tonight, partner?
You always got a new name for me, Crimson.
Better already hearing from someone from the States who knows the lingo.
Right.
I'm not from any states, cowpoke. District of Columbia girl here.
I figured you must have been coastal. You sound a little more, polished than I do.
You should hear my German.
Maybe some other time. My brain's full tonight. I had my first therapy session with a real client.
I hope this song doesn't get me a strike. I hope.
Oh, yeah? How do you think it went?
I don't think it was awful.
I reckon it was a bullseye on my end. You should have seen me. Labeling, blam, disqualifying the positive, kapow.
All right now, Sam.
I'm glad to hear it. Someone has got to sort these vamps out. They know how to hold on to their problems.
You ain't kidding. Living or dead, once people hit 70, they get pretty dang set in their ways.
Chewy, they be starting before 70, shoot.
You know Andy still uses a typewriter? I can't get that gorgeous man to see the light. Keep it up, cowboy. You're a breath of fresh air for these ancient ones.
Anyone ever tell you you're wise beyond your years, Crimson? You must have had some life.
Afraid I'm exactly as wise as my years. How old do you think I am, cowboy?
Don't fall for the trap. I ain't telling you.
I'm gonna do the gentlemanly thing and not hazard a guess.
You would have gotten it wrong anyway. I'm 50 years young.
50.
50? I died around that age and I looked like shit. But you ain't a vampire.
Yes, ma'am.
Like I told you, I'm Andy's blood partner. He shares his blood with me too, just not enough to turn me into one of you.
Interesting.
I've been 30 for a good while now.
But you ain't joining our team? Sounds like a story.
Interesting.
Not for tonight, buckaroo. I bet you're thirsty after a big night. Andy told me to give this to you.
Oh yeah? What is it?
We had a group of Americans come in last week who donated their blood. Andy can't stand the stuff. He says the blood glucose levels are too high, but he thought you'd appreciate it.
Maybe they're from Florida.
Oh, it ain't so bad.
I'm gonna stay salty
I
about
gotta
that.
ask, though, what does Andy's blood taste like?
To me, it tastes like life itself, cowboy.
I ain't sure I understand.
Never you mind. Look, Tex, I've got some customers to serve, so go enjoy your juice, okay?
Oh, of course. I'm keen to get some rest anyway. You have yourself a fine night, Crimson.
There he is, my incredible protege.
Come on now, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Will you stop that, Sam?
Everything stands against that reasoning, my friend. Do we need to talk about disqualifying the positive again?
All right, I get it. I guess I've been muddling through okay.
You've been doing wonderfully. I hope you are ready for a bit of a challenge tonight.
Lay it on me.
Your next client has been known to be somewhat difficult. Here, look at her intake form.
Isabella Deste. Dang, she's got some funny taste in hats.
Isabella Deste, age 50, female, origin Renaissance. Isabella Deste was a key figure in the Italian Renaissance, funding the works of Leonardo da Vinci, Andrea Mantegna, and Michelangelo. She received a humanist education and knows much about history, art, music, and philosophy. She comes from a highly aristocratic background, but has endured considerable family issues through generations. She states that she is undergoing an existential immortality crisis, suggesting that her life and unlife have both been meaningless. Suggestion: be exceedingly polite.
I think you should get along quite well then.
Walked right into that one.
Isabella is not your average vampire. She was once the powerful matriarch of one of the most influential families in Europe. She fraternized with popes and kings, and she also wielded great power over the art world. Some say that she was the model for the Mona Lisa.
One of them highfalutin types, huh? I don't think she's gonna like me much.
She is as human as any of us, Samuel. I already know you will find a way to relate with her.
If you say so.
Remember, you can always seek my advice if you feel lost. You are not alone. But I hear the beating of elegant wings. Breathe, Samuel.
I am here with you. Though we're far apart, you're always in my heart.
Do be polite.
You are not alone. Oh, so they just be flying in.
So you are the new therapist Andromachos told me of. I was not expecting someone so rugged.
I'm gonna take it as a compliment, madam. How you doing?
Wall's at your service, ma'am.
You are a therapist.
Well, that's what I'm here for, ma'am.
Enough with this, ma'am. I am not running a whorehouse. You may call me Senora.
Senora. Hold up. All right, Senora. 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 I'm gonna go with the middle one. Senora.
All right, Senora.
Oh, why did you do that?
Senora? Must you assault my ears with your Neolithic grunting?
I forgot about his accent, Senora.
I'm doing the best I can.
Then speak properly. Repeat after me.
I gotta do it again?
Senora. Say it.
Senora.
Signora.
Oh.
Signora. Signora.
Signora?
Porca miseria. This is not going to be easy, is it?
Therapy ain't never easy, Senora.
So, therapy is always easy then?
I said it ain't never easy, Senora.
Ain't never easy.
Is therapy easy or is it not?
Man.
Not, I guess.
Oh, how are we to examine my inner demons if your own speech is so diabolical?
Listen here, we are not here for
You know
my
what?
speech.
Let's start over. Greetings and salutations, Senora. I am most honored to receive you in my humble office.
Very well. I suppose it will do.
That's right.
I'm just here to help, Senora. It says here on your intake forms that you've been having a tough time lately.
A tough time? Indeed, yes, it has been a tough time. The realization that not only am I a corpse, but that I have been a useless corpse for nearly 400 years is a tough time.
Tough time.
So what set off this feeling that you're a corpse?
I saw a film at the cinema.
Hey, I love the cinema.
Bond with over movies, bond with over actors, bond with over Hollywood glamour. I mean, she looks like a pretty glamorous woman to me. I feel like she would like the glamour.
I can't get enough Hollywood. All that glitz and glamour. Them celebrities sure know how to look good.
Per favore, they look like employees of a peacock brothel.
Of course, she's better than them, so
The battle
there's...
between licentiousness and chastity has ended, and chastity has been utterly degraded on the battlefield.
Okay.
They should be ashamed of themselves, parading their young flesh for the adulation of fools.
I took you... It was too shallow. It was too shallow of a look at you. I should have went more in
I could
depth.
teach them about proper fashion, but alas, they would be incapable of hearing my wisdom.
I can tell I'm barking up the wrong tree here. Let's go back to this movie you saw at the cinema.
It was a most terrible film, one that shook me to my core. The pain of it lingers with me still 5 years later.
Well, movies can be pretty powerful. Heck, I remember seeing one of the first films. There was a train coming right for the audience. We thought we were dead for sure.
This film was not powerful, it was meaningless. It said nothing, did nothing, less than nothing, as loudly and garishly as possible.
It's very interesting since you still remember it 5 years later.
The audience, fools that they were, cheered, applauded this desecration of the mind.
She feels so, like, familiar, like I've known or encountered people like this.
I hate
for
this
sure.
film with all my being, for it has done the cruelest thing. It has revealed the dark truth. This life that I cling to has no purpose.
Dang, what the heck was this movie?
Space Wars. Rise of the Spacewalker.
Wait a minute. Space Wars, the big science fiction franchise?
Space Wars.
Yes, I believe it is important to understand modern media diets.
But that's the movie that gave you your personal crisis?
Mind your tone. Do not think me a fool. I know it was not high art.
That's not what I'm thinking.
But the money it made, it would make even the Pope blush. This stinking trash. This is what the people want. You see, I understand now.
Uh-oh, did I miss
attempts
something?
to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
So my attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. So, she's upset because Space Wars, its popularity and its success, her judgment of it wasn't worth it. So it made her feel like, oh, the art that I'm creating is much better than this, and I'm not receiving the same success. Is that it? And you should, you see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead. I think Nosferatu thinking. I think control fallacy. Labeling. Disqualifying them positive. I think.
You don't seem that dead to me. We're having this conversation, ain't we? You ain't just lying there decomposing.
It is no different. I might as well be rotting in the ground.
Girl, you're so dramatic.
I think you might get pretty bored.
Are you getting smart with me, boy?
Look, I'm just talking facts. If you're saying all you are is dead, I think you might be doing some Nosferatu thinking. It ain't black and white. You're here. But let's go back to what you were saying.
Once
We do.
I elevated art, and
Relax,
all the
Baba.
world benefited. Why have I lost my power to elevate art now?
All right, I'm back. Took a little break. And we left off with once I elevated art and all the world benefited. Why have I lost my power to benefit art, to elevate art now?
It was all for nothing. What good was guiding Da Vinci when they sell the Mona Lisa on beer coasters? It should not be so. Art should have meaning, purpose. Beauty should expose truth. But it seems I am just a dead woman. A walking corpse who is not worth listening to. I should walk into the sun.
Just a sec, Senora. You're a smart lady, but you've been saying some stuff that just ain't true. Let's go over what you just said.
You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead. Once, I elevated art, and all the world benefited. Why have I lost my power to elevate art now?
Is this... I'm thinking either disqualifying the positive or control fallacy. Disqualifying the positive or control fallacy. Once I elevated art, the world benefited. I've lost my power. Why have I lost my power to elevate art now? I'm gonna try disqualifying the positive. Damn.
Signora Deste believes she can elevate all art, it seems. A lot of responsibility for one woman, isn't it?
You're right, Teach. Control fallacy.
All the world benefited? There's a lot of people, and they got a lot of different preferences. You can't
makes
get them all,
sense.
can you?
But I could, once upon a time.
You can't reach everybody, Senora. I hadn't even heard of the Mona Lisa until about 1911.
Did you have any schooling whatsoever?
No, I didn't. But I don't think anyone in my time knew about the Mona Lisa either.
Oh, how wonderful. You add to my despair.
I'm saying you can't reach everyone, even in your own time.
That is true. I doubt the rabble had much of an opinion about the so-called great masters.
We only know what we know. But you were saying.
It was all for nothing. What good was guiding Da Vinci when they sell the Mona Lisa on beer coasters?
It was all for nothing. Okay, disqualifying the positive, I think that's here.
Oh, come on now. Just because the Mona Lisa's been on a coaster doesn't mean that's all it's ever been for.
Right.
I think you might be downplaying just what an impact you've had on the world.
The world needs no help from me to reduce my life's efforts to cheap commodities.
So just because something gets printed on a t-shirt, that cancels out everything that's good about it?
Yes, that is exactly what it does.
And I thought I was good at disqualifying the positive.
It should not be so. Art should have meaning, purpose. Beauty should expose truth.
Such statement.
You're saying art should have meaning and purpose, but does all art need those things?
What is the purpose of creation otherwise?
How about if I just like doodling? Ain't that a good enough reason to draw?
It is a pointless reason.
Oh, maybe I want to do something pointless. All I'm saying is that I don't have the same shoulds you do.
Perhaps you should.
But I don't. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Which is speak like a peasant.
Damn.
Heck, that's what I am, Senora. Ain't nothing gonna change that reality. Let's get back to what you were saying.
But it seems I am just a dead woman. A walking corpse who is not worth listening to. I should walk into the sun.
Labeling.
Now, why have you gotta go and call yourself names?
They are not names, they are my reality. I am a dead woman, and I am a corpse, am I not?
Is that all you are?
This is how I am defined by the world.
Seems to me you're the one using them names. Hell, I think I'd be a little afraid of calling you a corpse.
As you should be. Allow me to continue. You know, you make me sound rather mad. Like an old woman, railing at the world, screaming into the void, all to no purpose.
Look, Senora, all I'm trying to do is show you where you're a little rigid in your thinking is all. You're expecting a lot from the world and a lot from yourself. It ain't no surprise that you're going to be disappointed over and over again.
I suppose that is some insight. Indeed, I have been in a state of disappointment from the moment I was 16.
But what happened when you were 16?
I got married.
I think I get it.
You absolutely do not get it. You are a man.
Tell him, girl.
Well then, help me understand.
Frankie, my husband, he taught me the meaning of disappointment. He taught me the world was built upon lies. These things men proclaim as values. Truth, beauty, the spiritual. They were all fiction. But if men did not live according to principle, I would. I would set the example and shame them all. Yet, what a fool I have been to think humanity had greater aims.
So, what's this greater aim you're talking about?
I received a humanist education as a child. I was taught that the pathway to God was through rationality and a questioning mind, not slavish devotion to tradition. This world is not Eden, but it could be. Or so I thought.
So you're talking about a literal pathway to God?
No, fool. A pathway to godliness. To live according to our natures. Our true natures.
You mean being Italian? You mean being vampires? You mean being nudists? You mean being vampires?
You mean being vampires?
Come now, boy. Nothing could be further from natural.
This is true.
All this foolish hissing and copulation
I
and
mean,
blood drinking does
actually-
not bring us closer to God. But it does give us more time to find the path.
Well, talk to me about this pathway to God. How do you reckon we find this path?
I reckon nothing. I've always known that we can find our way back to God by fulfilling our human potential to be the greatest souls possible.
Fulfilling our human potential. Greatest souls possible. I'm feeling control fallacy.
You really think we've got that much control, Senora? All we got to do is be perfect, and then we've got our pathway to the Almighty?
Yes, it seems quite clear to me.
Senora, if that's how it is, it ain't no wonder you ain't forgiving yourself or anyone for the slightest mistakes. I would ask myself if anyone really has that much control. But keep talking.
I have always known we must master ourselves and our baser instincts. Virtue must triumph over vice.
We must master ourselves and our baser instincts. Virtue must triumph over vice. That sounds like Nosferatu thinking. Oh!
You know, there have been many entities over time that have tried to control humanity. They have all failed, and the Signora would do well to remember it.
Control humanity.
I have always known we must master ourselves and our baser instincts. Virtue must triumph over vice.
Control fallacy again. We must master ourselves. Oh, yeah.
You've been around a while, Senora. In all that time, when have we mastered ourselves and our baser instincts?
That's on me thinking just because I use one label or pinpointed one that it couldn't be like back to back. That's on me.
Not a single day. Men especially have no bottom to their depravity.
All right,
speak on
fair
it.
enough. So us fellas have disappointed you every day for a few hundred years, right? Ain't that proof that nothing you do is gonna change that?
An evil thought, Mr. Sam Walls, but true, I concede.
We're in agreement then. It's a little bit of a control fallacy. Do you think that's gonna change because of you? Let's keep going.
Right.
I have always known that the earthly lives we lead are disgusting, and only war and death can come of them.
Earthly lives we lead are disgusting. Only war and death can come from them. I would think that's Nosferatu thinking, like black and white. You're thinking it's all bad. Let me see, disqualifying the positive, labeling, control, or is it earthly lives really are disgusting? Is it labeling? Only war and death can come of them. But I think that's labeling is more of an individual thing. Like labeling yourself. This is a more generalized statement. And I think it's seeing the world in black and white.
Hold up just a sec there, cowpoke. You really think all we can do is sow death and destruction?
I do not poke cows. Do I look like a farmer?
No, madam, you don't. You look like a
Come
refined
on,
gentlewoman.
Senora. You've been alive to see what? 15, 20 billion people live and die? You really saying death and destruction is all each and every one of them ever amounted to?
Well, perhaps not individually, but as an immortal, I look at the greater arc of history.
Well, most of us ain't looking to contribute to the greater arc of history, but that don't mean life's pointless. That's some Nosferatu thinking, I'll tell you what. But let's continue.
All right, thank you.
I have always known the people have become fat and lazy, and living within the Garden of Eden is impossible in such a state.
Now with labeling, can it be labeling others? Nosferatu thinking, labeling impossible in such a state, disqualifying, labeling, control fallacy. Nosferatu thinking. I'm thinking either Nosferatu again or labeling, but I just said labeling was more for the individual themselves, but it could very well be for others as well. Because you're generalizing people to being just that. You're not seeing any of their other layers. So I'm going to try labeling first.
Sounds to me like you're coming up with labels for kicking people out of the Garden of Eden. Is that all we amount to? Fat and lazy?
Look around your own country, boy. Look at me. See my disgusting rolls and saggy features.
And that was projection as well, because that's how she sees herself. She despises it, and she despises seeing others that remind her of herself.
Would you let me into the Garden of Eden?
Well, sure, why the heck not?
I am glad you are not the gatekeeper then.
Out of self-loathing
You'd rather
there.
have a gatekeeper who wouldn't let you in? Listen, Senora, you gotta go easy on yourself with them labels. Well, let's keep talking, though.
I have always known we should act with dignity if we would take our place at God's side once more.
Another stood statement.
I think this here's the meat of it, Senora. The filet mignon.
I fear your French is even worse than your Italian.
Here's the thing, Senora. Who came up with all them shoulds that'll take you to God?
Why, the greatest thinkers of history that I studied in my youth. Plato, Aristotle, Cicero, Aquinas.
Sounds like a bunch of dead guys to me. They
That's
really
so
had it all figured out
disrespectful.
way back when, huh?
Well, of course not. How foolish do you think me?
Not at all, Senora. Just questioning where all them shoulds are coming from. But let's keep going.
So you think you are so very clever, do you, boy? That by pointing out my distortions, you have won.
It's not for me to win.
That is where you are truly the fool. I already know how wrong I have been, that I have been chasing an impossible fiction all my life. Indeed, I now believe that even if we did follow the pathway to God, once we reach the end, we would discover that he, too, was a work of fiction. When I say God, I mean goodness, propriety, intelligence. God himself is a lie.
I see. So you've lost your faith.
Yes, it has crumbled to dust, much like myself in this fat, wretched old body. Beauty and truth are lies. Ideas developed by ugly men to justify their existence. While we occupy ourselves chasing those ideals, they create space wars to leech our money and our vitality. And to think they call me judgmental while they created the false ideal to judge against. You don't think I'm judgmental, do you, boy?
So the answer is pretty much yep, but just in the way I want to say yes. I've never seen anyone judge more than you. I'm not going to say that. I think I'm going to go with you're doing nothing but judging, because you have, madam, been doing that this entire time.
I wouldn't put it that way exactly. Besides, I ain't gonna call you names. In fact, that's where I think I want to challenge you. Senora, I think the person you're judging more than anyone is yourself. I know you got raised with all them high ideals, so of course you're getting disappointed when nobody can reach them. That's some heavy pressure, not just on them, but on yourself.
Right.
I'd ask yourself what all that pressure's doing for you. Is it bringing you any satisfaction? We can't always control what things are gonna be.
This is not acceptable.
This is not acceptable. Damn, I gotta... Woo! How do I label these 4 words? This is not acceptable. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. Is it control policy? This is not acceptable. Or just
I got some bad news for you, Senora. None of us really has the power to change the world on our own. Not even a clever lady like yourself. I suggest we start working on ways of helping you find a way to accept the world for what it is.
But the world is base and unworthy.
Remember that term I told you about? Nosferatu thinking? You're gonna strip all the color out of the world if you keep doing that. The world's a lot more than just base and unworthy.
Nosferatu thinking. I am not used to having my own thoughts thrown back at me.
Well, that's why you're here, ain't it? I ain't gonna help you change the world, Senora. All I can do is help you find some other perspectives.
I suppose there is a certain simpleton's wisdom in the way you speak.
okay, we got a softened expression now.
Thanks, I guess.
Very well, boy. I will consider what you have said. We will meet again in exactly 4 weeks. Do we have an understanding?
Yes, I do, madam.
Yes, indeed, Senora.
Ugh. Please learn to speak properly by then.
Still judging.
Well done, Samuel. I believe you handled Senora Deste quite well.
This day.
You kidding? That lady straight up hates my guts.
I wouldn't say that.
Samuel, if Isabella Deste hated your guts, she would not be shy about telling you so.
She seems like that type of
That I
person.
believe.
Older we get, the harder it is to gain a different perspective. Have patience. We are not all as wise as Samuel Walls.
Guess it's just that simpleton's wisdom, as the Senora called it.
Do not adopt her labels, Samuel. I will not stand for it. I know she was a challenge, but you rose to it as I knew you would. I think you deserve a night of hard drinking. What do you say?
I'm right
You
with
don't need
you.
to tell me twice. All right, Andy. I'll see you later then.
Indeed, Samuel. Enjoy yourself. Excellent work tonight.
Thank you, Andromahos. Okay. Let me save. And I think with that, I'm going to end this video. After my second session.